Okay, so today I'm taking a look at some horrible humans that comment on. I've been fairly viral again on the Instagram, and whenever that happens, humanity's worst creatures come out in droves. And to be honest with you guys, I could do 20 of these a day if I wanted to. So
you could do more than 20 a day.
Yeah, realistically, especially when my TikTok was going hard.
I can't. Anytime Rem makes a post, like I can't read the comments.
Yeah.
Like I 100%, I can't. It makes me a little upset.
When family members or like people I know see me like articles on me, they'll like get in there and try and fight with these psychopaths. But there's no fighting with these ones, and like it's not worth the time. You'd be fighting with them all day, every day.
Right. Yeah.
But like some of them say some pretty sinister things and some stupid things too, and most of them are aggressive too. You wouldn't believe how many people casually wish death or illness on me and my family too.
You know, I hope that one day that we have an internet where death threats are maybe taken a little more seriously.
Well, the issue is like we're kind of going away from that direction right now. But the problem is
I like the direction that things are heading.
Well, there's less censorship on the way, but the problem is like there are some things that are troublesome, right? And again, I don't really care. People can say what they want, but the problem is these folks here, if you ever give them anything back, and I'm going to today, they cry. You shouldn't put yourself out there if you don't want criticism.
But you just put yourself out there.
Oh, and also, this is not criticism either. You know what criticism is? Criticism is usually constructive.
Yes.
Right? It's usually around a point, not you need putting down.
Yes, and that leads us to our first
one. A guy who looks like he's drank himself to sleep for the last 35 years and is just barely hanging on himself.
Right.
And by the way, buddy, you're putting yourself out there right now.
Yes. The second you comment on one of these posts and say something hateful, you've put yourself out there.
Well, the minute you put yourself out there in any way, like if it's, and by the way, just to be completely clear here, the social media platforms themselves consider a comment to be content, right? If you get a comment removed, they say that your content violated terms. So this is as much content as anything that I put out there. If you leave a string of disgusting psychopathic comments all over the place and somebody calls you out for it, you do not have the right to cry for a fucking safe space, you piece of shit. This guy here deserves whatever I want to say to him now.
Exactly.
Especially with how he started this. You need putting down. Can you imagine like just scrolling through your phone? Like I'm sure you can, because I'm sure some of these people will be watching this. But like I've never personally been scrolling through my phone and thought to myself, oh, that guy needs to die because I don't like what he looks like. You know, this is like the idea we have a racism problem, sexism problem, all these things. It's like we have another undocumented problem that no one gives a fuck about. It's been okay to hate on body mod type people forever.
Or just different looking people.
Anything that's it's not.
It's like the second you have something that's not considered normal or beautiful, it's like.
Well, it's not even about that. It's just different.
But but how many times people will point out a mole or like that someone's bald or.
Well, yeah,
like
sure.
Just like they have a weird nose or like do you know?
People say I have a lisp. They say I have a big nose, whatever. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is like people make it about particulars a lot. And they'll always say to me when I say something like this, yeah, well, most of those things people don't choose. You chose to look like a freak. You deserve this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yes, I'm sure that when you're like in your character creation, you're like, I want to be the thing that people are going to grief me for forever.
Yes.
Right? That's what you do, right? That's what you do. You choose that. By the way, nothing like this ever happens in reality.
Life. Never.
Like ever.
No.
So no, that's not an excuse for wishing death on people. Not that any way that you could look is.
Right.
And then you have this guy.
This one says, "Bro, you look funked."
I want to be generous to this guy and say that he used the M to skirt the algorithm, like hiding his comment or flagging his comment.
Yeah.
But like this guy doesn't understand that the algorithm is much smarter than he is, and if it gave a fuck, it understands what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
Like you can't sub out one letter and then it doesn't know what you mean.
And then also, it's just a hateful comment.
Well, yeah, but like what I'm saying is like that doesn't even work anymore.
You think that like if we were in a society, like, you know,
Can you imagine this dude walks up to you like this with his eyes half open and just says, "You look fucked up"? He looks like he just downed a whole bag of Doritos in his mom's basement. This is just straight up incel. Like, this is like the textbook incel look. Look at the fucking patchy ass beard on him. You think you're going to be telling anyone how they look? Fuck you. Yeah. You look like shit.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right, and like leave people alone.
Well, no, it's like you get in the arena, man. Like that's the purpose of because I'm gonna do more of these.
Oh, of course.
You want to get yourself in the arena? You want to talk about how someone looks? You better look better than this. Nice cat, but as far as everything else concerns, you got a lot of work to do on yourself there, bud.
Pussy he gets.
Yeah, that will be the only pussy he's touching for sure. This guy looks like a literal meme.
Oh, I know. This one's really funny. It says, your parents should be ashamed of you.
It looks like someone flattened his head in on the one side.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, it looks like he's got a dent in his forehead. Maybe that's why he's having trouble thinking. He's been beat too many times with a bat or something.
This is like such a weird comment, too. Like, oh, your parents should be ashamed of you. Like, what are you from, like, the 50s?
Well, also, like, is the implication that they aren't ashamed of me? How does he even know? Most of them just assume that my parents are ashamed of me.
I mean, your parents aren't ashamed
no,
of you. And
of course not. We were just at my mother's house the other fucking day.
Your in-laws don't even notice your tattoos. You know.
These are those ones where, like, this guy might not even exist. Like, he doesn't look like a real human.
He looks like a character from, like, SNL.
He looks like, do you remember those, like, Mr. Stinky, Mr. Curly, like, all those, like, mugs and, like, the old books about, like, you know, those little guys with the different shapes?
Yeah.
He looks like Mr. Stupid.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
This
Mr.
reminds
Idiot.
me of like a character that Jim Carrey would portray.
Yeah, like he reminds me of kind of one of the highway cops and Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Something like he doesn't look like a real human. He looks like a parody of like a very stupid human that thinks he's cool or something.
That's exactly what I think.
I like the shades though.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know what it is, but like I see trends online, like because I've been in this for so long, and it's been cars and it's been dogs and cats, but all of a sudden now there's a whole lot of troll comments coming from dudes holding fish.
Right.
Like there's tons of them. Like I could do a whole segment on just like dudes pictures of guys holding fish. And that's where I'm like, this might be an AI bot. Like this might be an AI like channel. He has like on his page, when I went and took this picture off there, I went and looked, and he has a girlfriend, and he's got different things and stuff like this. But it's like, it almost feels like it's AI generated.
Yeah.
Like they're all just stolen clips off of some other real human.
And this one says, you stayed broke, BC, you weren't happy in your own skin.
Yeah, so he's thinking that I have no money because I have all these tattoos, which is a logical fallacy.
Which is...
immediately, like, disqualifies himself.
Once again, own a car, own a house.
Manage several businesses, you know, I've got a house on me. We were just talking about this.
We were just talking about this with family that, like... There's a house worth of tattoos on his body.
And not a cheap one.
And there's, like, we have no complaints. So, I just think
Who wants for anything? You should see our Christmas tree this year.
Oh, my goodness.
There's like 75 presents of that fucking thing.
And it's not
maybe more.
It's not meant to be a brag.
No, it's insane.
It's just, like, you need to, like, prove people like this wrong because they automatically think that if you have tattoos, you have no money. Tattoos are so expensive.
If you see anyone with a lot of tattoos, they're doing well off.
Especially if they're nice tattoos.
Like, I can almost promise you I have more financial success than Mr. Fish over here.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because this idiot mentioned it.
Right.
So, it's preposterous, and a simple Google search could prove how stupid this guy is. Go Google how much the average hourly rate of a tattooer is.
Right.
And then go, oh, Remy has around 3,000 of those.
Yes.
You can adjust for some inflation from over the years, but...
And then also remember that we're in Canada land, and this guy's probably in America. And,
oh, yeah. Most of the really stupid comments are from America,
no offense to our American fans.
And they assume there's only one country most of the time, too.
I know.
Like, almost all of these idiots will come in, they'll be like, oh, must be a Kamala supporter, as if there's one fucking country on the entire planet. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. It's the whole world isn't in America, you fucking moron.
Right. Just because we know what your politics are. All right. So this one says, I'll stick my index finger and my middle finger through the ear holes. My index. Oh, yeah. I'll stick my index and my middle finger.
You assume too much of him.
Through them ear holes and rip them out.
Yeah. So this guy looks kind of like, I said when I seen it, and that's why it's so funny, like looking at these matching the face to the comment, because some of these are like so deranged and unhinged, and they get worse when you see the person who made them.
Right.
Just imagine this guy walking in here and saying that to me. He looks like one of the really psychotic Titans from Attack on Titans. You know, like the abnormal ones.
Just that.
They go like nuts and they go running like crazy through a building or something with the stupid look on their face.
Yeah. Well, it's. You know, and again,
I'm assuming he's about as intelligent by the way he typed this, too.
Why are we putting this picture out there, too, man? Like, best step forward.
Well, it's a nice picture. He's smiling, he's stoned as fuck, and he's about to rip my ear off.
Right? Yeah.
But most people will look at this, and they'll see me reacting to it, and they'll be like, he's still more normal than you. Yes, it's perfectly normal to talk about ripping someone's fucking ear off.
Yes.
No, he's not more normal than me. You're just as stupid and aggressive as he is, you fucking moron.
Yeah, I do. I think that there's something wrong with people who can make these sorts of comments.
Oh, there's more than one thing wrong with
this one says, go fuck yourself, you suck.
This guy looks fabulous.
Yeah, look at
absolutely
your pretty
fabulous.
Pink cat.
Like, he looks like this is the best he's ever looked. He's out on cruise or something. He's just good vibes. Look at, what does it say? Always good vibes. You can't read it, but I'm pretty sure what that says. I think you missed the point of your shirt there, bud.
And like you're making like such a snap judgment. I mean, you're saying that Remy sucks. You haven't met him.
He wouldn't. Like, this guy's never going to be anywhere.
I know, but like that.
He would never say this in person.
Exactly.
But these people always think that they will, right? And I can assure you that while I may suck, it would be for reasons that were different than what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's... I can be a bit of an asshole, but you can't really see that from a glimpse.
It's true.
You can see that from a glimpse with this guy, though. I love the people who make these kinds of comments. They're always wearing, like... Or you'll check their blurb on their page, and it'll be like, stay positive, 100% good vibes only, or something. And they're just talking the most insane shit about killing people.
Internet troll.
Yeah, it's just fucking
where are your good vibes?
And then you have this old prick here.
Says LMFAO, attention seeker, your life must be boring. You have nothing else better to do.
I wish my life was boring sometimes. By the way, this has got to be one of the ones that irritate me the most. It's always some piece of shit in terrible health with nothing going for them that thinks the entire world wants their attention. Like, it's psychotic how many of these people default to this. Mm. These are the guys that rape a woman for wearing makeup and say she was asking for it. It's literally the same thought process.
I also think, like, people like this, I think they're, like, jealous.
She was asking for it.
I think it comes out of, like, a weird jealousy sometimes, too, because, like, obviously, like, you're living life fully. And this guy is probably waking up, going to a shitty job, if he has a job.
He is 100% miserable, for sure. Like, there's no option for him not being miserable. There's literally no one that I know. I don't know one person, and maybe I do. Maybe they're just secretive about it. But I don't know anyone who spends their time in this way. Like, I can't think of anyone that goes, I'm going to troll people today. That's what I do for fun.
I know one.
Who?
Not necessarily a troll, but they like to go and argue with people on X.
Yeah, it's a stupid waste of time, and if you're ever doing that, you're a fucking moron, and I will always call you out on. Like, I may not do it every time, but like, I will do it whenever I want to, and you don't get the right to complain.
No,
right?
exactly.
You are now content for me, and I will farm you.
Pay our bills, bitches.
This guy here, like, it looks like he thinks heaven is in his pants. just the way that he says this, and then the picture that you get, he thinks that he's got heaven in his trousers.
Demon, you'll never will be.
I love where he misplaced the comma too.
Yeah.
Right? These guys can almost never spell or punctuate correctly. That's another common trope of the below average IQ internet troll. They're angry. They're not very intelligent. They can't spell. They have trouble articulating their thoughts, and they're here to tell you.
Well, and like I always the religious ones. They really get me. And no offense.
I don't know if this is even religious.
He thinks you're going to hell.
Yeah, maybe, but like I think he legitimately thinks heaven is in his pants.
Maybe, I don't know.
Look at the way he's laying here like this.
I know. It's just every once in a while, some of these religious people will leak.
Oh,
onto
I've got
my
some
page.
Religious ones coming up.
I know. They leak onto my page though sometimes, and they'll be like, "Hey, God doesn't love you," and I'm like, "I don't love God," but like.
Yeah, God can do other things. I don't have any interest in God.
It's just like it's so funny to me, and.
Well, what is interesting is like when they come after you, the religious people, they'll come after me quite often, and if I ever say anything like mean towards them, they all get offended. Mm-hmm. They all get like, how could you possibly say something? It's like, Jesus Christ, your selective outrage is fucking laughable.
Right.
Like you literally see how this started. It's literally a religious dog pile on my posts sometimes, and the minute you say anything like, hey, get the fuck out of here, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
They're like, oh my God, how could you say anything? It's like, what the fuck is this fucking hypocrisy right now?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear about your wizard in the clouds. Like, if you want to do that, fine. Keep it to yourself. I'm not here for your fucking evangelizing.
Yes.
I'm not
the evangelizing.
I'm not your audience to fucking save. You think I'm so fucking like I'm living in sin. I need to be saved. I love that comment. Are you saved, brother?
Yes. Yeah.
Hopefully saved from you.
The married man is living in sin.